Warm greetings from the high 10. It is Everyday Shenanigans, and thanks for joining me. This is a very, very interesting day today in America, Florida especially. Human remains and items were found in a Florida reserve, and they are believed to possibly belong to Brian Laundrie, the man who is a person of interest, suspect in the death of Gabby Petito. Thank you all for joining me. God bless all of you. Please be respectful of the hostess, the mods in the chat. Feel free to hit the link to join the discussion. And refrain from using any derogatory language or being inebriated on the live. Thank you so very much. I'm going to go ahead and get started because I'm sure this will be a very long live. For those who want to participate, hit the link. I don't want to keep repeating that during the live. You know the rules. Just hit the link and come up and give your opinion. Just be respectful in the information that you're going to bring. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Thank you all for joining me. This is by CNN News. Suspected human remains items belonging to Brian Laundrie found in Florida Park. FBI says this was uploaded today at 12:29 p.m. So know that everything will be subject to change depending on the said information that the FBI brings to the public and what is found inside of the reserve. Thank you so much for joining me. What appears to be human remains and items belonging to Brian Laundrie, including a backpack, have been found in a nature reserve in Northport, Florida, according to FBI agent in charge, Michael McPherson. Another one of the items found was a notebook belonging to Laundrie, who McPherson said was a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. The apparent remains were found in an area that has been underwater until recently. He said, the FBI's Tampa's evidence response team is on the scene using all available forensic resources to process the area. According to McPherson, it's likely the team will be on the scene for several days. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet, he said, reading a statement to the media. Brian Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta Laundrie, were in the park when the discovery took place, family attorney Steve Bertolino said. Chris and Roberta Laundrie were at the reserve earlier today when human remains and some of Brian's possessions were located in the area where they had initially advised law enforcement that Brian may be, Bertolino said. Chris and Roberta will wait for the forensic identification of the human remains before making any additional comments. The discovery comes 37 days after Laundrie, the fiance of Gabby Petito, was reportedly last seen by his parents. Earlier, the Sarasota County medical examiner and a cadaver dog were called to the park, and aerial footage showed activity in the, I don't want to pronounce this wrong, Myakahatchee Creek Environmental Park near the Carlton Reserve. I will just call it M. Hatchie from now on, so I don't have to say the whole word. Laundrie's parents had informed the FBI and Northport Police Department Tuesday night that they intended to come to the park on Wednesday morning to search for him. Bertolino said earlier law enforcement met them there Wednesday morning, he said. Let me repeat that one more time. Laundrie's parents had informed the FBI and the Northport Police Department Tuesday night that they intended to come to the park on Wednesday, which is today, to search for him. That will be very pivotal in the information that I bring to you and my commentary after I'm done playing all the audio and this article, because that will be one of my questions pertaining to who invited themselves to go search for Brian Laundrie today. Was it the parents? Were they asked by FBI or the police? Or did they volunteer? And this said information by CNN says the parents informed the FBI and Northport Police Department Tuesday night they intended to come to the park on Wednesday. This very important information. The Sarasota County medical examiner was called to the scene, and the Pasco County Sheriff's Office said a cadaver dog and 2 spotters were also on site. The Sarasota County Sheriff's Office emergency response team and the Lee County Sheriff's Office were also on the scene along with the mobile unit. The discovery comes amid an exhaustive search for Laundrie that is now stretched over a month, and as authorities try to piece together what happened to Petito. The M. Hatchie Creek Environmental Park is on 160 acres of heavily wooded land in Northport, Florida, and trails in a camping area. The park connects to the Carlton Reserve. Please note that these parks intertwine, connect. So it's 2, M. Hatchie and the Carlton Reserve. The park connects to the Carlton Reserve, a 25,000-acre nature reserve that has been the primary search location for investigators. Searchers had previously used swamp buggies, divers, airboats to scour the swampy terrain, but the area has dried out recently due to clearer weather. Basically, it goes back. It recaps everything that we've already learned about Miss Petito. She and he traveling from one domain to the other, and basically talking about Petito's family not being able to get a hold of her, reported her missing 10 days later, launching a national search. The Laundries declined to cooperate to give any information about her whereabouts or Mr. Laundrie, and his family told investigators they believe he had gone to a sprawling nature reserve nearby. Petito's remains were found September 19th out west, Grand Teton. And the coroner, Dr. Brent Blue, ruled her death a homicide and said that she died by manual strangulation. And they believe this strangulation is by a human being. Mr. Blue told CNN's Anderson Cooper. Laundrie has not been explicitly connected to Petito's homicide, but he is the subject of a federal arrest warrant for unauthorized use of another person's debit card in the days after Petito last spoke with her family. Okay, it goes on and on, just talks about the relationship, the report with Moab. I'm not going to read all of that. Feel free to go in this article if you want. CNN is the source. I want to go ahead and play the other commentary so I can get into this live and get your comments pertaining to the information that I play. Everything that I'm going to repeat will be basically a question pertaining to information that was brought inside of the information. Thank you all so much for joining me. Hello, everybody in the chat. Ooh, Lord have mercy. What a day. Let's get this party started.
There is breaking news coming out of Florida. Items belonging to Brian Laundrie may have been found in a park. That's according to an attorney for the Laundrie family. Now, Laundrie's parents went to that park this morning to help search for their son. Police are now conducting a more thorough investigation of the area. A senior law enforcement official tells NBC News that what appears to be partial human remains have been found in the Carlton Reserve, and the Sarasota medical examiner confirms they have also been asked to respond to the scene. Now, 23-year-old Brian Laundrie remains the only person of interest in the disappearance of his fiancée, Gabby Petito. The medical examiner ruled Petito's cause of death was homicide by strangulation. Let's go straight away to NBC's Dasha Burns and former FBI Special Agent Clint Watts. So, Dasha, what have you learned about this new search?
Well, Jeff, this is week 5 of the search for Brian Laundrie, and up until today, that there had been seemingly no trace, but it seems like that has now changed. We are still watching the story as it is developing very quickly, but let me reset again what it is that we know now. We know that last night the FBI and Northport police learned that Chris and Roberta Laundrie, Brian Laundrie's parents, were planning to go to the Carlton Reserve to search for Brian again. That reserve had been closed for about a month. It reopened yesterday, but it is closed again today, as you have law enforcement and the medical examiner on the scene there now. We know, per the Laundrie family attorney, that there have been some items found in that reserve that they have confirmed do indeed belong to Brian Laundrie. We also know from a senior law enforcement official that partial human remains have also been found in that reserve. They have been found near a backpack that the senior law enforcement official says is consistent with items that may belong to Brian Laundrie. And look, Jeff, this has been such a long search for Gabby's fiance, and I've been talking to law enforcement experts about, how is it possible that there has been no trace for so long? And a former FBI agent told me that there are only a few scenarios here where someone could really evade law enforcement for this amount of time. One, it's a person who is very prepared in law enforcement techniques, knows the ins and outs of how a search like this would go, and is able to hide. Someone who perhaps has had experience with law enforcement before. It could also be a person who is getting help from somebody else. And the last option she presented to me is this could be someone who is deceased and has not yet been found. And she said, look, Brian, it's very unlikely that Brian Laundrie knew the ins and outs of investigative techniques. And so the two options she was looking at were either he was getting help in hiding, or that he was deceased and had not yet been found. We know that the search has been made especially difficult in the Carlton Reserve over the last several weeks because the water levels have been high, but recently those water levels have receded, which is why we might be now seeing some items that are there that we didn't see before. We know that just in the last couple of weeks, Brian's father, Chris, had been helping FBI look in some of those areas where the water levels were starting to recede and reveal a little bit more, Jeff.
And Clint, as we look at these aerial shots above Northport, Florida, give us a sense of what the law enforcement response is at this search scene right now.
Yeah, so over the last few weeks, as you've seen, they've been conducting an extensive search, trying to really map out the entire area. But as you noted here from that interview with Dana, they really have to have some clues to go on to really vector in on what might possibly be there. The parents had mentioned this location before. They maybe have found now something that's consistent with this individual, and so they're going to narrow in. Once they find remains, though, that's really about bringing in someone to verify, and that's why they'll call the coroner's office, get someone out there to verify the remains, and they will then, if they do find them, go to family members or someone that knows the individual as well to make sure that there's confirmation, identification of the body. This oftentimes takes a long time. This isn't quite as simple as you might think it is. They have a chain of custody they have to maintain in terms of the evidence and in terms of notification of next of kin.
And Clint, does this put more of a spotlight at all on Laundrie's parents?
I don't know. I think it's mixed in terms of this. They probably were trying to follow some rules and also stay out of the media spotlight, I would imagine. This has been a nationwide case that's drawn lots of public attention. And I don't know what the interactions were like between law enforcement and the family. You would think that they were trying to be supportive and helpful, but also probably worried about their son in the same way. So I don't know enough of the details between those interactions between law enforcement to say with great certainty.
Okay. That's MSNBC, the source of information that I've brought to you guys. And it's titled Apparent Human Remains Found After Laundrie's Possessions Located in Florida Park. This information was uploaded to The Wire 5 hours ago. If you need verification for the said information. Thank you all so much for joining me. Okay. I believe this is the FBI giving their commentary. This is the FBI speaking.
Good afternoon, Josh Taylor with the Northport Police Department.
WFLA is the source.
Continued diligence on this story, and thanks for your patience. As you know, the Northport Police Department has worked collaboratively with the FBI throughout this investigation. Special Agent Michael McPherson is going to make a prepared statement. There's not going to be any questions today, but hopefully it answers some of them. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael McPherson. I'm the Special Agent in charge of the FBI Tampa Division. As you're aware, the FBI and the Northport Police Department and our state and local law enforcement partners have been searching the area of the Carlton Reserve for Brian Laundrie, a person of interest in the murder of Gabby Petito. Earlier today, investigators found what appears to be human remains, along with personal items such as a backpack and notebook belonging to Brian Laundrie. These items were found in an area that up until recently have been underwater. Our evidence response team is on scene using all available forensic resources to process the area. It's likely the team will be on scene for several days. I know you have a lot of questions, but we don't have all the answers yet. We are working diligently to get those answers for you. We are grateful for the dedication and professionalism of the Northport Police Department, along with our partners from the state and local agencies. Complex investigations such as this cannot be accomplished by one agency alone. but there are just too many agencies to name them all here today. Portions of the Myakkahatchee Creek Environment Park and Carlton Reserve will remain closed to the public until further notice. This is an active and ongoing investigation, so we ask the public to maintain distance from any law enforcement personnel, equipment, vehicles, and other related activity for the safety of the public and to protect the integrity of our work. We have no additional comment related to today's activities. Our FBI Denver office is the lead investigative agency, and all future inquiries should be directed to them. We appreciate the tremendous support from the public and continue to ask for your assistance in bringing this investigation to close. Thank you.
With the backpack found near the justice for Gabby! 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 Justice for Gabby!
That's WFLA Channel News. Oh, I have a lot to say. Lord have mercy. God, just bear with me if you can. I got a lot to say tonight, baby. As much commentary I'm going to bring you. Just pray I can get it out in time. Thank you all. Thank the mods on deck. Let's go ahead and get this party crunk. Okay. Are those the remains of Brian Laundrie? Are those the remains of Brian Laundrie? How long has the body been out there? Or has the body been out there from day one when he allegedly, left his parents' home and parked his Mustang at the reserve? Is this the same reserve where he parked the car? Because as they said, this M. Hatchie Park, that's what I'm calling it, okay? Because I don't want to pronounce the whole word. This M. Hatchie connects to the Carlton Reserve. So how far is this M. Hatchie Park to where the car was parked? Come on with it, Queen. Come on with it. All right. I got a lot of notes. So just bear with me. Do these remains belong to Brian Laundrie? How long have the remains been there? Some of you may think this is a setup. We find it strange that the parents so happen to say they wanted to go to this place. Why haven't you been going every day? They've been searching there 5 weeks now. Why aren't you going there every day to look or every other day to look? Roberta, Chris, some people find it strange that you happen to go on the day that the body has been discovered. Now, most detectives will tell you there are no coincidences in criminal law, true crime. But then there's that one time, that rare instance that it is a fluke. It is a coincidence. So let's say it again. What are the odds that the day that Roberta and Chris decide to go to the reserve to look for their son, voila, magic, he pops up, or let's say partial remains were found. Let me make that clear for those in the back. Partial remains were discovered, a backpack and a notebook, which were underwater at one time. So one would have to say the remains had been there for some time, perhaps, because that means the condition of the backpack and the notebook were not properly maintained. Nice looking, if you get my drift. The medical examiner was called. So that was our first sign that somebody was dead out there. Whether they was in whole body, partial, that told us what we needed to know right there. Somebody was out there, because you don't call the medical examiner in for a backpack and a notebook. Stay woke. We will wait on confirmation from the medical examiner and from the Laundries pertaining to the body, partial remains. And when we say partial, what are we talking about? Let's keep it real. This is adults. We're all adults. Partially what? Foot, arm, torso, head. What are we saying? Lord, help me, Jesus. What are we saying? What are we saying? Naturally, it would take a long time to search. 25 acres. You see, we're in week 5, and a body has been recovered. Another person was discovered a week ago, but not Mr. Laundrie, whole, intact, alive. Another fugitive, not Mr. Laundrie. Once again, is this Brian Laundrie? Has he been there since day one? The body, whomever's body this is we're speaking of. Was this a planned suicide by Mr. Laundrie? Did he meet with his parents when he got back from Grand Teton and told them, I killed her, gave a lame-ass excuse, and then decided to also say, I'm going to take my own life. This is the best way. I don't want to go to jail. I want to go to prison. They'll fry me. They have the death penalty in Wyoming. They'll kill me out there. Did the Laundries know that he would kill himself if indeed this is Brian Laundrie and he killed himself? Because I'm not going to sit here and believe if it is him that he just died by natural causes. He decided to let the elements take him. Who would do that when you could easily just shoot yourself? So did Brian Laundrie, if this indeed is the body of Brian Laundrie, partial remains of Brian Laundrie, did he willingly kill himself, orchestrate the coward's way out, and told his parents of his plans, and they rode the ride? Cassie, what is her part? What does she know? Don't know. Someone on this channel, WFLA, mentioned today, grief. The Laundries will be suffering grief. So then I said to myself, come on with it, Queen. I said grief. They would be suffering grief. Well, that's a human emotion. That means you have to have, come on with it, Queen. You got to be a human to know what grief is. Come on, Queen, bring it to him. But nobody thought about the Petitos and the Schmitz when it came to grief. So how in the hell could they dare say they may be grieving or will grieve if indeed it is Brian Laundrie? Who? Why? Grieving? No one thought, the Laundries never considered grief for Gabby's parents. So why should I care about somebody grieving about their child being in the reserve, be it by suicide or murder? You see, because they didn't think of the family of the child who was so maliciously snuffed out by their son. And we believe that, most of us, that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby Petito. So when you use the word grief, it's a joke. Because how could you dare grieve your son when you didn't even have the decency to answer the phone when the Petitos and Schmitz were calling you about their child, who they are now grieving? Notebook. What's in the notebook? What's in the backpack? What else is found out there besides a notebook, backpack, and partial remains? And as I state, what remains are we describing? What will be the justice for Gabby? There will be none, if indeed that is Brian Laundrie lying out there in the reserve. Interesting. Why did you all decide to help this late in the game, Roberta and Chris? I'm very curious. I am really, really curious. Strangely curious. Are those items planted by a Brian Laundrie or other participants that belong to that are Laundries? Because like I said, a few people did find it strange on the day that the two decided to go. Roberta has never gone to search until today. Come on with it, Queen. So out of the blue, you show up, you and your husband, and whoo, voila, partial remains. And it's not to say that, as I said, they've been there a while. That's the point. How long have they been out there? Day 1, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. 2 days ago, what? What do we say? How long have the remains been out there? And it is strange that these people decided to search for their son, go to a place where allegedly he hung out, camps, which I find that strange too, because as big as this reserve is, connecting with this M. Hatchie part, he could have camped anywhere in there. Who would know exactly where somebody camped? You mean to tell me you went and showed somebody where you camped every time you went? Hey, Dad, let me show you where I camped. Let me take you to the exact spot where I camped. Very strange. Some of you say a narcissist wouldn't kill themselves. Many of you said that from the beginning of this story. When he touched down and played possum, he and his parents. But you see, yes, a narcissist would kill himself because narcissists have killed themselves. Mr. Sharkey just killed himself in Florida the other week. He was a narcissist sociopath. He killed himself because he didn't want to go to jail. He didn't want to go to prison for the murder of his beautiful wife. So yes, indeed, a narcissist has killed himself, plural, many times. Third-degree felony after the fact is a charge in the state of Florida that these parents probably won't get because of the laws in Florida. Third degree felony of aiding and abetting. Now, if it's first and second degree, the Laundries may get charged aiding and abetting their son for the murder of Gabby Petito. There are no immunities in federal cases. This was relayed on the WFLA channel by Mr. Walt Boutreau. But as he said, the parents can be charged with 1 and 2 degree accessory charges if indeed the state of Wyoming can bring forth charges and proof mainly that these two aided their son after the fact evasion of the crime of murder, Gabby Petito. Wrongful death was mentioned. Who's going to sue whom? Will the Petitos and Schmitz sue if indeed this is Brian Laundrie? But then that's going to be a tricky slope because we have a dead man who didn't have a damn thing. And if he was alive, you couldn't sue him because he didn't have anything. So who would you sue if indeed that's Brian Laundrie lying out there dead? Would you then try to sue the family for aiding and abetting? Would it stick in the state of Wyoming? As I said, amazing coincidence that the day that Roberta and Chris go to the reserve, their child, possibly partial remains, were found. But it has not been confirmed. Let me make that clear in this commentary. The medical examiner will do their due diligence to identify the body and whom the body belongs to, and of course, with the aid of Roberta and Chris Laundrie. One question came up on this chat through YouTube on WFLA about how long the body had been there. Had it been placed there recently? What's the distance from the body and the items? Very good question. 1 foot, 2 feet, 10 feet. And as I said, what are the remains? Torso, leg, arm. What's the distance between those remains, the backpack, and the notebook? Very interesting questions. YouTubers, social media people, random people standing out there while the FBI was giving their commentary, police officers trying to do their job. And you all are out there bickering and arguing about what exactly? The person's dead out there. So I'm trying to understand what was the going back and forth. I really couldn't hear when I was watching it earlier. People standing out there fussing about something. I don't know what. Because I'm trying to understand what can you fuss about? One's already dead. And then there's somebody else dead out there. So what is there to argue about? Help me understand. Have we been searching for a dead man all along? I've asked you all that a few times in my lives a few days ago. Has law officials, the FBI, been looking for a dead man? Brian Laundrie was dead from day one. He went out there in that reserve and he shot himself, and everyone's been running around with chickens, like chickens with their heads cut off, looking for a dead man. We question why they stayed in the reserve looking week for week for week, not finding anything. But then the flip side of that is it is a big reserve. You can't just find somebody overnight because there's so many places in there that you could hide, water or not. And then on week 5, remains have been found linked to Brian Laundrie. So has Brian Laundrie been lying out there this entire time for 5 weeks? Is it now we've misidentified the Laundrie's role in the disappearance of their son? Could it be they didn't know where he went exactly? They just thought he went out there because they found the car there. But they didn't aid him to go on the run to New York, Idaho, Wyoming, somewhere else in Florida, Appalachian Trail. All along, Brian Laundrie was right under our noses down in Florida, dissolving in a Florida swamp. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. Hit the link. Two-mile radius. Okay. That's another question, Crystal. The area where he was found, had it been searched? That was the last question I meant to ask. Thank you for saying that, sweetheart. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Pam. Last check a week ago was at $1 million for the search of Brian Laundrie. And with gas going up, who wants to add that to their due bill? $3+ up here for gas. $1 million to search plus for a dead man. Come on with it, Queen. Thank you.
What's up, Queen?
Hi, baby. How you doing?
Not a whole lot.
Turn your background down, baby.
Turn the back down.
You got something playing in the background.
Shouldn't have.
I hear talking, sweetheart.
Hang on.
Are you in public?
Yeah.
That's why. Okay. What do you have to say? What do you have to say about that information, sweetie?
But also, I'm off my headset too.
Okay. What do you have to say?
What's that?
What do you have to say about the said information, sir?
Today, it's kind of odd because the parents went out there this morning and asked the police department to go search. And the whole entire park was wide open for customers. And all of a sudden, they were going out there and shut down the whole park and went and did some search where Brian was. And they turned around and happened to find that bag. Then they turned around and they stumbled across a body.
Mm-hmm. And let me also say that the parks are now closed again. Let me say that.
Yeah, the whole entire park is closed to the other one, the 2,500 acre or the 25,000 acre one.
Well, they're both closed now.
Oh, are they? I just heard that. West East side was.
I think I played where it said both were closed, or at WFLA said I thought.
But still, it's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just waiting for the DNA to come back to see if it is. But
my
gut feeling is saying that no, it's another body that turned up missing, and somebody planted that bag of Brian's right there by that body.
Okay, so now listen to what you're saying now. You trying to tell me some random person planted a body and then they just so happen to drop the bag near the body?
No, that's Brian. Somebody else's body ended up coming up.
Okay, but listen to what you're saying, though. But listen to what you're saying. A random body is found, and then you just so happen to take a bag and put it in
and planted it right there by the body.
Okay, but are you hearing what you're saying?
Yeah, it does happen. I mean, there's several cases that does happen that way.
So when was the bag planted then? And no, listen to what you're saying though. When was the bag planted and when was the body planted?
Had to be. Excuse me. A little chilly. Excuse me. It had to be during the public time when the park was open during the public. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm a timeline outlaw today, yesterday, what? 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, what?
No, it was yesterday when the park was open to the public.
So you saying so somebody went and took his bag and put it there yesterday?
Yeah, it could have.
Okay. I just want you to think about what you're saying because you're putting the two lesser evils together. You're putting a random dead person over there, and then the Laundries happen to put a bag near a random body.
Yeah, but during the flood and all that, and then the water receded, then that's when the body showed up. It could have been there for over a month and a half.
Well, that's why I said when they said the bag and the notebook was underwater, that leads them to believe it had been there longer. It had to have been there longer because you would have found it unless you just didn't discover it. I don't know.
Well, and they turned around and said the whole entire bag was dry, complete dry. And underneath that shade, that would have stayed moist.
But how can it be? But how can it be dry if it was underwater? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I know. But there was a lot of people saying that bag was dry. It wasn't even soaking wet.
Well, I'm only going by what the source says, and they said all of that where they were was underwater. So I'm assuming that what you took out of there had been underwater.
It was at one time until the water receded.
Okay, so that means the bag and that thing is muddied up. Or dry from the sun.
Dried up from the sun and all that.
Oh, that mercy.
Well, the water does recede, I mean.
I'm just look, I only repeat what they tell me. That other he said, she said, I don't do that. You know I do. You know how I am. I don't do that.
I know you don't.
Because that's right now when you say they said, you know I'm going to ask you, who are they that said the bag was this or this or dry? Dry could mean a whole lot of things. Dry could mean newly dry or muddy dry. You get where I'm going now?
Yeah. But they said it was
dry. Are we talking about dry with mud or it was dry because it was just recently planted?
But they said it was dry in that area.
Mm.
And with the heat and all that, it can dry the mud up pretty quick down there.
Somebody says way too coincidental.
And it is.
Yes, Laurie, yes. Mom told mom where, and there you go. Because that is very strange. 5 weeks. Like I said, I understand it taking a while to find a person because that's a lot of land. Let's just say that for the record. That's just like common sense. But for these two to go on this said day and then the body is found, my thing is, if you already knew where he camped, because remember, I'm questioning that too, then he should have been found a long time ago. See, that's why I always tell people to listen to the information that's being brought to you.
Oh, I did. I listened to the news and everything today. And a couple channels. And I watched most of it today while I was driving.
I'm not about to sit up here and argue with nobody about a damn bag, okay?
What, somebody arguing?
Because if nobody's explaining to us civilians about the bag, then we don't even know what we're talking about. We just know it's a bag, a backpack. I don't know. I'm not here to argue none of that because they have not given any information. They just said a bag.
I didn't hear it.
What I'm saying is dry can mean different things. Dry as in newly planted dry, or dry with mud from being under the water. They just said it had been underwater, so my mind thinking it would be murky, but dried out. I don't know. It's a question. Don't come here arguing about no bags, please stop.
I'm making a mess of this.
Damn. Okay, Lori says on the news they said there was a table, a cooler, and chairs. Was he expecting company or was he the company? I don't know, Lori. Anything else you'd like to add, Slim?
Not really, but that's what I ran across and what I've heard from local news to what FBI showed. But yeah, this is a puzzle. I mean, a mystery.
Well, what would be interesting if we find out he's been out there dead the whole time?
It's possible. Because he was only about a mile and a half away from where the car was parked.
Hey, Denise, you're right. They were not devastated at Gabby's partial body. Exactly. Hello?
It's possible. Because he was only about a mile and a half away from where the car was parked. Wow.
That audio's playing with feedback. Hey, Tang, how you doing?
I thought that was me.
It was you. Their audio's playing. So, Alicia says, I think it's a freaking cover-up. What do you think?
I'll lead a 50% chance on it.
Well, let's go here then, since you want to open Pandora's box, because naturally somebody was going to say something about that. If indeed this is another person, and Brian Laundrie's things are found like close proximity, and when I mean close, not no 8,000 feet and all that. So that means somebody killed somebody to make it look like it was Brian Laundrie, which means I found somebody and drug him out there and put him out there so people think it's me.
That is true.
Lord have mercy.
I had to move.
Well, how could they be Gabby's bones? That don't make any sense. That means he would have had to wait till she deteriorated and went out there and found the exact location of the bones. Come on, you guys, stop this now.
Wait a minute. They found Gabby up there in Wyoming.
Yes, G. Diddy. Yes. Could he have killed someone else? That's my whole point. I don't know. I don't know what to think at this point. My better half is saying possibly it's him, and he's been out there dead the whole time. And the FBI have been looking for a dead man. And all these sites that y'all say y'all saw him in Tennessee, North Carolina, Pookieville, the man was dead. So that means you all can't
To
identify
Mexico.
people well, just like Oprah did a special on that years ago. She had people, all these different faces on the screen and show the people their faces and then had the people in the audience to try to pick the people out. The people scored terrible. You understand what I'm saying? Terrible. When you got white folks can't point out their own white folks. Something wrong here. Because people think they're seeing what they're seeing, but you're not. Because you don't really know who you're looking at. They're standing right in front of you, and then they take the pictures away, bring the pictures back, and you misidentify somebody that you just looked at their picture. That's dangerous as hell. I don't know, Crystal. I guess the FBI, honey.
We'll have to see what the FBI comes back on.
Hello, DJ. Where you calling from?
I'm calling from South Carolina.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, young lady. How are you doing?
I'm alive.
I just wanted to say that I have been listening to you for several weeks now.
Okay.
Calling from South Carolina.
Yeah, you get
I'm
feedback.
doing great. How are you?
You gotta cut your feedback down, baby. You're repeating yourself.
I have been watching you for a couple of months now.
I know, but cut the background down. Don't listen at that because you'll mess yourself up. Don't watch and listen to nothing else. Just talk on to the mic.
Okay, I'm old school and I don't really know.
That's okay. So you're trying to watch it on TV. Don't do that. Only talk into your phone or device that you're talking to. Don't look at that other stuff. Turn that other stuff down. Don't listen at that because you'll mess yourself up. Don't watch and listen to nothing else. Just talk on to the mic.
Okay, I'll try.
Yeah. Don't look at nothing else. Just talk and give your opinion. Yeah. You're trying to watch it on TV. Don't do that. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Tasha says it seems mighty fishy that the park was reopened to the public yesterday, and all of a sudden today the parents found those items of Brian's. Yes. You have to admit it is strange. Now, like I said, the reserve is a big place. That M. Hatchie Park, I'm sure it's probably not as big as the reserve, but nonetheless, however it goes, they connect one another. That's why I said, where is the proximity to M. Hatchie Park to where he parked his car? That's something I'd like to know. Has he been dead this whole time? Perhaps, as I said, they've been looking for a dead man this whole time, the FBI. Very interesting. True. So many lies. Exactly. You don't know what to think. You don't know to think. Well, let me tell you all this about the parents, the Laundries. Let me say this. Some people will say, like I said in my commentary, that they will grieve if indeed this is Brian Laundrie, which, like I said, that doesn't mean anything to me, only because you didn't have that same empathy for Gabby Petito or Gabby Petito's parents. So what do I care that you're grieving about Brian Laundrie? Why should anyone care about that when you didn't care about this girl who lived in your house, dated your son? He killed her out there. I don't think somebody else out there killed her. Some phantom rolled up in the park and killed her, left her for dead. A phantom didn't steal her cards and her credit card. A phantom didn't steal her damn van. So why the hell am I think it wasn't Brian Laundrie? Because I should care that his parents would be grieving if indeed that's him. Well, then you should have thought about that with Gabby Petito and Gabby Petito's parents, that they are grieving. Where is the respect and dignity for that girl and her family? There is none. And you all sat idly by and didn't say nothing. Well, we didn't even know where she was. She was out there, laying out there for the animals to get to her. Who cared for her? Nobody. Who cared for her parents? Nobody. You saw them calling. You said nothing. You more concerned about your dusty ass son. So don't talk to me about grief. Bullshit.
And then there's people like me who show up at the mall on Christmas Eve. If you're in that latter bucket, obviously there's going to be.
Where was the respect for Gabby Petito? You acted as if she was a streetwalker that he just picked up, did some hanky-panky, stuff got out of control, I choked her, left her. Because that's what a lot of men think of street women and women in general. Something jumped off, I ain't like what she said, so I choked her out. Threw her out. She ain't nobody. See, let me tell you something about that mind frame. It wouldn't matter if she was a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a school teacher. You got right. You'd have choked the school teacher. You choked the nun. You choked your mama. Don't matter. Girlfriend, fiance, streetwalker, escort, dancer. She's a woman. And you don't have respect for women. Okay, GD says they said the Mustang was parked 1 mile from where they found the remains. Okay. How much walking is that a mile, trucker?
Depends on how fast and how the train is. You could do a mile, probably less than 45 minutes to an hour.
You should shop for your Christmas presents in October if you have any hope of your kids being happy with Santa this year. More things change, the more they stay the same. Now a labor shortage.
Well, it depends on how fast you walk too. I mean,
And that's only going to get worse. Why? Joe's vaccine mandate.
if you're really sightseeing, it could take anywhere between 30 to an hour.
Well, a lot of people got different things. 30 minutes, 1 hour. I'm just trying to get a guesstimate of how far, if I'm thinking like him and I'm going to kill myself, I'm going to go walk so far in where I think nobody's going to find me, but that makes no sense. That's why I kept trying to tell people to always think about the information that's been given to you. Why the hell am I getting ready to walk in 1 hour, 30 minutes to kill myself when I can kill myself at home?
Or walk 10 minutes in and do it. I mean,
no, why? Why would I want to go out there to kill myself? Why? Make me understand. Please help me. You could kill yourself at home where your parents can bury you. Why would you want to go somewhere way out in the middle of nowhere to kill yourself, knowing the people got to find you first? Where are your parents? Because we know you don't give a fuck about nobody. And your parents don't, because they the ones that brought your dusty ass here. So I want my parents to suffer, even though I'm a dog and I killed this girl. You see, narcissists have empathy for, no, let me take that back. Self-serving. He ain't care about Gabby Petito, but he might be concerned about his damn parents. Hell, I don't know.
I mean, good point, Queen. I mean, did he really actually respect everything that he's shown?
Somebody says, where were the police the whole month? They've been searching for a month. Now they find him. Yes, it's crazy. It is crazy. Hello.
Hey, Queen.
Yes, honey.
How are you?
Honey, I've been in a funky mood all day.
Well, I'm old school. I'm an old person, but I've been watching you for a couple months.
Thank you, honey.
You are so pragmatic. and you're based in logic and reason, and nothing about you is drama or
Some might disagree with you.
well, I've watched a lot of channels, and I've never done this before. But
Okay, so
you're really logical in your thinking, and you
thank you, ma'am.
don't you're not you don't try to be fantastic with your reporting. You tell the facts and the facts only. And I've been following your thinking now for a while, and I guess I really don't understand why all these folks think that this is some kind of conspiracy or something's still wrong. Or, I mean, it seems to me like it's just a clear case of this guy, for whatever reason. Well, we know why he killed himself. There was a lot of water. The water has receded. Now the remains have been found. And I guess I just don't understand why so many people are beside themselves about that. If people have really listened to the unfolding of this case, like I have, this is really the only logical explanation that there is. And I just love that, you just put it out there and you report the facts and you tell it like it is. And, if folks can't go with that, I don't understand where they're pulling in other ideas from.
Honey, this goes on every day up here. It's always a phantom, cloaks and daggers, Dungeons and Dragons, the Illuminati, the government, DHS. I hear it all the time. Nobody just wants to believe that people just don't like people. People have bad damn days every day, and they want to snuff you out because they can. And I tell people that. Don't never ask why. Ask why not. Because that's how they think. The sociopath and the psychopath. He don't need a damn reason. She don't need a reason to not like you. You see, you're thinking for yourself. You got to think like how they think. Okay, you looked at me wrong. Now I want to cut your throat. You said something out of the way to me. I want to put poison in your Coca-Cola bottle because I can. I don't need your permission.
You're exactly right. But it's, to me, it's sad commentary on us as a country or a society, however you want to look at it. We don't need to be a bunch of like Alex Jones people. What's wrong with critical thinking and thinking for yourself and using common sense? And that's why I love listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
And, and I love when you say stay woke, because that's so pertinent.
Somebody the other day told me, I like your commentary, but I don't like when you say that it's racial. It's not racial. Who cares who said it first? A white man, a black man, an Indian. It's the truth. You do need to stay woke because people aren't woke, because people like an easier answer than just accepting that man is tainted. He was tainted the day somebody decided to take the apple from the tree.
You're exactly right. And you know what? I've been, let's say, and I have no pride about it, or I'm just indifferent. It is what it is. But I've been white for 62 years.
Okay.
And I don't see stay woke as being in any way racial, or it's the absolute truth. If we would stay woke and think for ourselves instead of being comfortably led into crazy directions.
Woo, I'm glad you said that. Comfortably led.
Right.
Because a lot of people are.
So many people are, to me, dead inside. Just like people that get involved in cults or these crazy religions or whatever. If your soul is not full, like mine is, of the Lord, you could be swayed. It's very possible that you could be, but we all need to stay woke and, keep our eyes on the truth and let's go there.
Well, you know what I find with people? See, my daddy taught me this. He said, you people don't listen. You take what you want from what was said, and then you run with it. And you don't focus on what was said to you.
Right.
You took what you wanted from the sentence, the conversation, and then you spin that into your narrative, your truth, but you block out what was actually said.
Exactly.
See, I always listen to what was said.
Exactly.
I don't need Pookie, Shamiqua, Betty, John, Paul, Dick. I don't need none of that. I listen to what you gave me, what the law officials give me, and I bank on what you told me.
That's
And
why
I
listen
bank on
to
what
you.
you didn't tell me.
That is why I listen to you. I believe in you and I trust you.
Thank
You know, you never sensationalize anything. You tell it like it is, and you know you always make it a point to say, "I'm giving you this information." Okay, and that being the case, you always give the information that is the truth. You don't speculate. You don't ad lib. So I just I'm new to all this, but I really do appreciate you and the way you handle things.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And so with that, I'll let you go. Didn't mean to.
Okay. You're
keep
fine,
you,
honey. Look,
but
I'm gonna get my little horn tooted for a little while.
I just think you're awesome, and so many people this day and time they want to declare war when there really is none.
Right.
And
Dramatized. Drama, just drama.
exactly.
Mhm.
And maybe that floats their boats, but I'm pretty simple and laid back, and I live way out here in the country in South Carolina.
Okay.
And I personally welcome peace and unity.
Yes.
And you know, and thank goodness my parents tried to teach me to use common sense.
Yes. But
So
see, a lot of people don't have that, honey.
So in this particular situation, you know, for whatever reason, Gabby, you know, blessed soul that she is, her and Brian, they were just a toxic combination.
Yes.
And it unfolded the way that it did, unfortunately.
Yes.
And now that we've come to this place in the road, people, you know, anymore, we all love to use the term narcissist. We don't know what he was. You know, he
was subhuman.
I know, right? He had a little devil up in him.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, right. Or he couldn't have done what he did, but at the same time, this is a real life situation.
Yes.
And you know, subsequently, a matter of events led up to what happened. And as crappy a human being as we believe that he is,
yes,
maybe he felt some type remorse or either fear after what he had done. So now we find his little
body
crooked up remains, and you know, and everybody loves to talk about, well, you know, they wanted justice. They wanted justice. The Lord takes care of justice. Okay, to me. And the fact that he could not deal with and live with what he had done, in a way, justice has been done. Those are just my
because
thoughts.
what we're doing is we're focusing on this life. For those, I don't, you know, everybody has their own ideologies about life and death and what happens after death and heaven and hell. Some believe in the Bible, some don't. Some believe in God, you know, some don't. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But you see, I believe the afterlife will be much worse than whatever he thought he had going on. Terrible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because
if
I have to believe in hell, I don't want to believe in hell. Do you understand what I'm saying? The fact of actually living there every day, all day, burning eternally. I don't think we can imagine what that would be like if indeed that's where he ended up. You know,
I agree with you. And you know, as much as I believe in the Lord and Jesus Christ, you know, all we as human beings know and are able to feel are what we feel here. And to try to imagine a parent who would allow somebody to burn in fire eternally. I just don't get that. I'm not really on board with that. But I do believe in right and wrong and evil, and some way or another, justice will be served to him. But, as a people, we can't agree on religion, theology, a superpower. So I just think that it's easier to say to folks around me anyway, no matter how you believe, he will atone for this. So I just I can't believe that so many people are not willing to accept his demise.
Well, it's nothing you can do about it. If indeed those remains belong to Brian Laundrie, what can you do about it? Thank you, Justice. What can you do about it? It's nothing you can do. You're gonna argue, you're gonna fuss. And like the people that were standing out there fussing earlier when the police were out there. I don't understand what you were fussing about and arguing. Justice for Gabby. We already know we wanted justice for her, but if indeed that boy is dead, it's over.
Exactly. If we wanted to bring about equality in this situation or whatever, we need to go back months. And there was more than one person on this earth that was aware that this relationship was less than harmonious. Right?
It was. That's obvious. I think we already know that. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. So if we really want to go back and, try to resurrect or change the past, we need to go back before August 24th, 27th, or whatever. It goes back a long ways, and I think that's why this has unfolded as toxically as it has.
What had been going on, that's common sense. Like I tell people, in order for somebody to hit you in public, that means they've been brewing for some time. That means they did not care that somebody would even say, "Hey, boy, what are you doing over there?"
Exactly.
They didn't care.
Exactly. And we don't. We sometimes we like to think that we do, but we don't live in a vacuum. And there are folks around us, whoever we are, that see things and know our situations and are somewhat aware. But it topples to the point where it comes to something like this. And I don't blame her at all. I think she was probably she had the best of intentions, but obviously some way or other she got on his nerves.
Well, we all fool with people we don't have no business fooling with.
Ain't it? That's true.
Every day, it's your family, your coworker, your neighbor, yourself can be a pest to somebody, get on somebody's nerve. It's just a matter of they didn't decide to snuff you out.
Exactly.
It wasn't that serious enough to strangle you.
Exactly. And we're individuals and we're all different, because it's like my mama told me one time, if everybody liked to fish, creek banks would be too crowded. And so, we're all different, but at the same time, we need to come to a place where we can agree to disagree.
Yes.
And,
walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
When you decide that it's time that you want to start doing things such as ending a life, we ain't gonna even just say hitting, because hitting is bad too. But let me take that back. Yes, you decide you want to start hitting, time to go. You want to start concocting ways to get rid of he or she by poison, by strangulation, shooting them, cutting them, stabbing them, beating them to death. It is time for you to walk solely away. You don't even got to give a damn explanation. Just get your stuff and keep it moving.
For real. That's exactly right.
There's no need in you even having to even sit there and concoct stories and try to kill somebody. Just walk away.
Exactly. And all these people that want to say, "Oh, well, we loved each other. Well, that is only a very tiny part of the whole picture. You either you get along, you get along, and 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 and you are able to jab with each other, or you're not. And these people, this had been going on a while.
Oh, I know it's been going on a while. She just put up with it. He put up with her. She put up with him. To me, it's a two-way street. I'm not about to sit here and say who was at fault, who was at blame, because I don't know the kids. But at some point, both of them got tired of each other. They had to, but they rode the ride, and look where the ride took them.
And you're right. In so many cases, people can tire of each other, and
yes.
But so thank goodness, so much of the time you don't snap and strangle somebody.
That's my point. Is that when you see yourself teeter-tottering on that other side, leave.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't got to cuss them out. You don't have to hit them, push them, shove them, choke them. Just get your stuff and get gone.
You're exactly right.
End it.
And we've heard through pretty much the course of this thing, I've heard it said about each of them that they had what I'm going to call loose hands. Okay. Mm-hmm. And the bottom line is, as well as I do, no matter how angry you get or whatever, you do not put your hands on anybody else for any reason.
Yes.
In a harmful way.
Yes.
So there's a missing piece here. Each of them or both of them, something wasn't quite right. Something wasn't quite right. And what's that old thing about it takes a village? Well, you had people that were around each of these individuals that knew something was wrong.
Oh, yeah. At least his family knew if nobody else knew.
So,
that they were volatile toward each other or combative or whichever word they want to use.
Exactly. And, this is what I'm just learning all this, Domestic Violence Month or whatever.
Yes, it is.
This month. Yeah. And so I guess maybe this is maybe a wake-up call in America. I mean, or I wish it would be. Okay? Because this is just too commonplace, and these two just happen to be in a public light, and but it could be anybody, it could be anybody.
But it was anybody. I mean, they're random people.
Yeah, we didn't know about them.
That's the whole point. We didn't know them. Somebody knows them, just like somebody across the street knows somebody. It's all the same. It just happened to make the national news. That's all.
Exactly. But I've never done this, but I wanted to let you know that I sure do appreciate you, and I watch you every day.
Much.
And the stay woke thing it resonates with me every time you say it.
Did you watch my video yesterday on Mr. Todd?
I did.
Okay.
I watch everything you do. I just,
thank you.
I'm not one to chat, and
That's okay.
I felt compelled tonight because now we do have some kind of weird closure.
Yes.
But indeed, there are still people that want to either be in denial or dispute this, but
look, let them knock themselves out, because somebody else is dead on this street over here and that street over there, and there's a new story. Do you understand? And it's not to throw shade to Miss Petito, but it's common sense. There will always be another story, sadly.
Yes, ma'am, you're
so
right.
If you want to argue the logistics of what's out there in that reserve, knock yourself out. I'm not about to bang my head up against the wall. I will wait for forensics to come back. And if they say it's Brian Laundrie, then that is that. Now, what the state decides to do in Wyoming pertaining to aiding and abetting or any other charge they can come up with proof, then I'll wait on that.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I'm saying. You never speculate. You pride yourself in giving us correct information. And so
I don't do that conspiracy stuff, because I know 9 times out of 10, it ain't no conspiracy. I live in the real world.
Yeah, I do too.
I live in a real world where somebody just choked a 22-year-old. That's the world.
Right.
It wasn't no phantom. It wasn't Jason or Michael Myers. Yeah.
No, this is real.
Yeah.
Right. This is real life. But So many people on YouTube would rather deal and make it for views and whatever, and make it a bigger deal than
Oh
it
yes,
actually is.
I saw something today that I was just like, wow, you really doing the most, honey.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
despicable, just despicable. But this is what I keep trying to tell the fans. You don't know people. We're all flawed. We all make mistakes indeed. But I'm not going to go out here in the street and do nothing felonious to show out, to get no views for my channel. I don't work like that. I don't need it.
That's why I listen to you and I watch you, because I've yet to see where you try to sensationalize anything. And, you know, if we were all willing to deal with the facts, use our common sense and critical thinking, we could just like be more agreeable with each other. But now, you know, I understand that this has been a case particularly where things have changed, and well, the parents were out there this morning and yada yada yada.
And that's what's so crazy about the story, is that at this point it could look like the parents did what they said. He went out there, parked his car, we got the citation, they notified us. Now we're looking at somebody that could possibly be the remains, and that they didn't aid their son. But it's their behavior which led us to think possibly these people were complicit in hiding their son. But then I also say, what if we're wrong and he's dead? He really is dead.
Right.
And they've been running around here hunting a dead man.
And until you know all the facts.
That's true.
You know, it's easy to
assume,
sensationalize, or make up stories or whatever. Yeah. But the bottom line is this: you know, it could have been that when he did come home, when he drove the van back, you know, everybody wants to believe their own child, and he could have set them ablaze with this fantastic story about how it was bad and she hit him and it went bad and she left and she was with somebody else. And we do not know the answers. So the only thing that I can say about these parents that I really don't understand is why they did not communicate with Gabby's parents when the parents were calling and asking questions.
And see, that's what makes this story even more jacked up, because their behavior at that time and to the present made us think that they were covering for their son and hiding him.
Exactly.
So now it puts even a more twisted, wicked spin to the story, if indeed those remains are Brian Laundrie's.
Exactly. Because it paints them in a very dark way. And they could be completely innocent as far as I don't know that
aiding, yes, but you showed us that you were empty when you didn't say anything to her parents. See, this is where it's still bad on their part.
Exactly.
If indeed those remains are his, you still didn't talk to this girl's parents, and you have to own that. You may never own it to the public. You may never even apologize to Gabby Petito's parents, but you have filed for that because that child had a parent just like that's your child that could possibly be out there partially.
Exactly. And you know, we hear this day and time, so many defense lawyers say, well, just because he did so and so and so and so, he might be a liar, but that doesn't make him a murderer. Well, while that's true, these parents could be completely innocent, and Brian shot them a line or whatever, but they still look bad because they weren't willing to communicate.
Right. And that's my point. That's my point. Whether it's him or not, you still did not talk to this girl's parents. And you said nothing to the media, law enforcement, or her parents, which made people think you were hiding and covering for your own son.
So is it possible that you love your adult child enough that even if you believe he's completely innocent, you turn your back on these other folks?
I wouldn't have done that. Even if I believe my son didn't do anything to that person. But see, I come from a logical mind. So it doesn't matter if it was my son, somebody I know. When you showed up in the van without her, I already know what time of day it is.
I know, right?
I'm not a dodo person.
There you go.
I've been living too long. Yeah.
Stay woke.
It don't matter if I like you or not. It don't matter if I gave birth to you or not. I go by what's inside of me first. Because what was in me first was here before you came.
Exactly.
So my better half's gonna say, you did something to that girl, because what the hell you doing with her van? Then once I got wind that her credit cards got empty and you spent the money, I ain't got to tell the public what I think. But I'm thinking you did something to that girl.
And that's what I'm saying. You always, I watch you all the time, and you point these things out. For the most part, you allow us to develop our own thought process and, follow it the way that we see fit. But if people really listen to you, just like if you listen to the FBI press conference today, you can pick up a whole lot if you're willing to listen.
If you're willing to listen.
If you're willing to listen, and then you don't try to paint it to suit yourself.
Suit yourself. Well, most people are self-serving, and that is the reason why you have all these wicked stories. As soon as a story come out, I mean, look at all the ugly stuff that's been said about Gabby Petito, all the wild stories that come out about Mr. Laundrie, stuff you don't even know. You're going by something that you saw on a Facebook post, a Twitter post, and a TikTok or Instagram post. People watch wicked stuff every day. I've been watching scary movies ever since I was a child. It does not mean I want to go out here and start fires. Does not mean I want to go out here and kill anybody. Does not mean I want to go out here and poison anybody.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean I want to be involved in some cult or crazy stuff. It's just that I like a little bit of macabre every now and again.
Yeah, and macabre can be like really, really enjoyable and funny, as long as you don't think that's what we need to do.
That is real.
Right, exactly. And I wonder all the time with us as nothing to do with color, but as humans in general, where's your integrity and where's your moral compass? Mm-hmm. Because it's not about color, it's about caliber, it's not about looks like the Laundries might have had a few bucks in the bank. I myself come from very poor people, but there are certain lines you just don't cross. Mm-hmm. And if you know right from wrong, and you do have integrity, what in the world is happening? What's happening? Did his parents?
Well, possibly that is why Brian Laundrie ended up where he ended up, because of who raised him.
I know, right? And that's really scary. So, but what do we do about that? Should you have to pass a test or whatever to be able to bear children? Because and what's or
better yet, to just be a human being.
Thank you.
Because you're human before you're anybody.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And this saying that goes around this day and time, hurt people.
Yes, Dr. Phil.
But where do we try to break that cycle?
Well, they say your identity is formed when you are a child, which I believe.
Right.
So you learn everything from the time you come out of the womb. How you talk, who's talking to you, what you're hearing, people's emotions. You're picking up all those things. You'll either be emotional or you'll be devoid.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And you can have 3 kids and all 3 will be absolutely different with the same mother and same father.
You're right. You're right.
And someone could be innately evil. Let's say that. And then this other child is sweet as pie, docile in behavior, very understanding, very meek, mild-mannered.
Right. So, and that gets very deep too. Is it a matter of interpretation? What each child took away from the parent, or is it just inherent evil? Mm-hmm. It's just, I mean, I don't have all the answers, but this story right here in particular seems to me to be pretty clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty clear cut.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end, 2 people made a decision to ride the ride.
You're exactly right.
That's it. They made their own decision to stay and stick it out with one another. And one lost their life, and possibly the other one took his life because he killed that life and didn't want to pay the piper and the repercussions for murdering his
right. So much of the time, and myself, I'm including myself in this. We thought he was a coward and he didn't care and this, that, and the other. Well, at the end of the day, maybe he did.
Really? You think that?
I'm not sure. I'm on the fence.
Okay.
I'm not sure, if it was a matter of conscience or just fear. But I really thought that it would end up being something more geared towards suicide by cop, or
I see.
but
He
so
go out
maybe
and blaze in glory, fight back, shoot back.
exactly. So maybe he did have more regret and feeling about what he had done. I don't know, and I don't pretend to
That's
know.
that's the sick part of the story is why he didn't think then when he saw it going out of control. Because as I said, this is not a one-time show for these kids. At some point, you have to have known me and this girl, we're not jiving well. Same thing for Gabby Petito. He and I are not jiving well. I don't like when he does this, or I don't like when she does this. I've asked her to change. I've asked her to stop. I've asked him to stop. They don't stop. Then how do you keep going? Why keep going?
That's true, but as long as you can, and we justify. I mean, and I think a lot of us do it. You can put it under the guise of or the roof of, oh, we love each other. Oh, we love each other. Well, that can be a blanket that can reside over a whole lot of things. Oh, we love each other. We love each other.
Yeah, we hear that a lot.
Right. And, that, I think that justifies
With a butt.
so much.
With a butt. It's always a butt in there, isn't it?
Yeah. And that butt is what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly what happened here. And, so many people have looked at it as far as their physical appearances. Oh, she was too cute for him. She was too this, or she was but for some reason, she thought that was her mate, and whether that was her lack of self-esteem or self-awareness, whatever, it put her in a position where she was like way out yonder with this guy, and she was afraid, and you see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's an easy answer, but I think we need to accept what we know as fact.
Yeah.
And stay woke.
Mm. Well, like I said, to the chat, we are all flawed. We make mistakes. We put up with things that we shouldn't have. And I think that is the reason why most of us end up in having the problems that we have is because we keep giving people chances. I know personally, there just comes a point when you have to say, damn it, I'm tired. I no longer want to participate. I no longer want to engage because it's not beneficial to me.
Exactly.
You see, if you say that to yourself, you'll probably save yourself. Now, it's not to say a person won't get crunk and still try to come after you to do something in that decision that you've made. But you can know that you tried at that time to do the best you thought was best for you, not that person or somebody else.
Exactly.
What somebody else desired. Well, you're a cute couple. Oh, he does this for you. Oh, he takes care of your kids. That ain't got nothing to do with my self-esteem and how the hell I walk in my light.
You're exactly right. But so many of us, and I think it's just who we are, we undervalue ourselves.
Well, we do.
And so we allow things like this situation to unfold, and you don't see it as it's happening, but in retrospect, today was like a really defining day. It made me realize that he must have cared more than I thought he did.
Really? I'm trying to figure out what has brought you to that conclusion. I'm curious.
Well, because, like I'm saying, the word narcissist is so overused.
Yes, it is.
And everybody was, oh, well, he was
kind of like good.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. So he's too narcissistic. He wouldn't kill himself. And his parents got money. So he's in Guatemala. He's in the Appalachian Trail. He's in Puerto Rico. And really, when
he was right there in Florida.
Ain't it? And at the end of the day, he was more human than I had allowed myself to believe, because obviously he was bothered about what he had done. Either that or he was afraid of being caught.
Well, could it just be that he didn't want to go to jail, DJ?
Ain't it? But look here, I saw him as suicide by cop. I really thought it was going to be a Bonnie and Clyde type ending, But Maybe he did have a little bit of a heart, and it hurt. You know,
So
I don't
what
know.
you trying to say? This is a crime of passion, man. Where you want this, DJ?
Ain't it? But look here. We all do things in a moment sometime. Out of passion, out of fear, out of jealousy, rage, love, whatever you want to call it. But that doesn't mean that we don't ever have second thoughts.
But see, that's the problem with this story is that they have had issues. So when they were allegedly separated by the police, allegedly, I'm gonna say allegedly, that was everybody's wake up call to bow out.
Yeah, well,
because you just displayed violence in public, and somebody called the law, and now you're pulled over, and now you two are having to play nice because you don't want either one to get arrested.
Exactly.
So you both downplay what really happened. That was the time.
That's true. That's true. You're exactly right. But at the same time, had she contacted her parents or a parent or whatever, because, you know, now her mother is saying that she realized along the way that more tension was building. Okay. So
obvious. That's obvious.
Ain't it? But here, if you call your mama and you say, look, mama, man, we had another fight and the law pulled us over. At what point as a parent?
Yeah, because see, that's a good question. What did she tell her parents?
Exactly.
What did she tell her father or mother about these those weeks before she was murdered? Because you couldn't have told the truth. Because when a parent be going on and on, I'm coming, come on home. But in the end, like I said, the flip side of that is she still makes her own decisions. So even if she did tell the truth, he did this, he hit me, they called the law, blah, blah, blah. It still would have been on her how she wanted to handle the situation. That's
very true.
But she still stayed, whether she told the truth to her parents or not.
Exactly. And see, those are the kind of things that you know prompted me to call, and because we might as well accept the fact that he committed suicide and his remains are out there, and we will never know all the intricate details.
We're not gonna know anything. Yeah.
You know, so I just appreciate you being factual.
Thank you, honey.
And you know, and I just don't understand all these folks that don't want to believe that it is what it is. I guess,
like I said, let them knock themselves out. I mean, what you gonna do? You can't raise the dead.
Exactly. So I appreciate you, and I appreciate you,
darling. Thank you so much.
I just think you're great.
Thank you, South Kakalaki.
Thank you, girlfriend.
You be careful, okay?
Love you lots.
Love you too, honey. Have a good weekend. Thank you, honey.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, baby. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much for listening to the content. I brought you sources pertaining to the information in this live, CNN and MSNBC for audio feed, pertaining to the FBI report, remains found in this reserve, items belonging to alleged items belonging to Mr. Brian Laundrie. We will wait for the coroner or whomever, medical examiner, to give the final okay to the findings of these remains. Which remains? What remains are we actually talking about? I know it's a very gritty subject matter, but what was left behind? And this is an issue that animals had got a hold of the said body of the said person. What remains were left behind? Did Brian Laundrie kill himself, if indeed this is Brian Laundrie? How long has he been out there underwater? And God forbid if it's not Brian Laundrie, Lord have mercy. What a web it will show enough be. Thank you so much. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. Also, put chat to welcome during the live. Please hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to the discovery in the reserve in Florida today. It's a very interesting day in Florida and in the world today. Y'all stop it. Yes, Pamela, the animals got to both, indeed. It's a very wicked story. Very, very wicked story. I got a little more time on this jukebox, so if you want to hit the link and come on up and give me your opinion, thank you so much. Hello, Joelle. How you doing, honey? If you need to see the link, it's up right above. Mr. Trucker has dropped the link for those who want to be a willing victim to come up here in the box and chat with the queen in the live today. Thank you so much for joining me. It's just a crazy, crazy day. We will see what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow is another day, and we will wait to see what the medical examiner has to say pertaining to the remains and any other information they want to reveal to the public. Looking to see if I saw any new information. Yes, a willing victim, of course. Welcome. Thank you, Chrissy. Just my little lounge around. Got my little lounge dress on. I decided to go ahead and go live because I knew you all be sitting there waiting, thinking, is Queen going to go live today about the information? So I played you all some audio and an article pertaining to this storyline. It's a very wicked story. Thank you, sweetheart. Yes, hit the link. He's dropped the link for you guys. Hit the link. As most of you know, human remains were found down in Florida earlier today. And a backpack and notebook that was underwater is believed to be those items belonging to Brian Laundrie. We'll wait to see what the medical examiner has to say pertaining to the remains and what else will unfold as far as legalities pertaining to this case, the murder of Gabby Petito, I thought it was crazy, Lord. All of it. I just thought, Lord, don't tell me all this time this man's been dead. That's what I was thinking. Thank you. Thank you, Alicia. Okay, thank you. Let me know. I figured it'd be some people on. Thank you, Pamela. I bring it to you straight from the hip, baby. Straight from the hip. Thank you, Carmen. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My opinion basically is that I think it's that possibly this is him. Could be. It could be that fluke that it's somebody else. But all this time, law officials were looking. People had sightings. And that's the crazy part for Deedis Brian Laundrie. All these fake sightings. Oh, I think it's him. I think it's him. So it's kind of like, are you even paying attention to the photograph? You know, pull your phone out. Pull his picture up. Look again before you make a 911 call. Get a frenzy. Get somebody hurt. Get somebody beat up. You know, you might get a crazy U.S. Marshals that beat a person up. It's not even that guy. See, people don't think about stuff like that when you're calling in saying, oh, that's him. He's here. He's on the trail, blah, blah, blah. It's not even that guy. You can get somebody killed like that. And see, that was another thing. People thinking they can do a citizen's arrest, don't even know the law. You can't do a citizen's arrest unless the person is committing a crime at the time that you see he or she. See, people don't even know the law. Oh, I'll get him. They looking for him. They got a reward. I'll get him. You're going to get him how? You don't even know who you're dealing with. See, those are things you have to think about. Yes, I find it interesting that he would go to a swamp to kill himself. Let me say that for the record. That's odd to me. I've said that from the beginning. If I was to believe that he had killed himself weeks before, Why would I go to the swamp to kill myself when I could kill myself at home? Frankly, he could have killed himself out there in Wyoming. You feel so bad. You feel so guilty for killing your girlfriend. Things got out of control. She angered you. She pissed you off. She made you mad. You strangled her. Well, hell, you should have killed yourself out there. But instead, you took her van and her money and came home and hooped it up with your family for a couple of days in the reserve. Doesn't sound like a suicidal person to me. And that's also something that bothered me. I said to myself, who would come home, concoct a plan to hang out with their family for a week or so, and then go out into a damn reserve and kill oneself? You're not contemplating what you're going to miss in life? You've already killed somebody. Take the ride. You've been riding a crazy ride, dating this girl, and you two were going toe-to-toe all the time or sporadically. And you two hung it out until you murdered her. So you go hang with your parents and then say, I'm going to walk off into the sunset and kill myself in a swamp. Is that what we're saying? It's crazy. Their last hoopla, possibly. Adora says this is a big charade. Well, hit the link, Adora. Tell me what you're thinking. Or is this a body of a random person? If it's not Brian Laundrie, will you all be shocked? Let's go there. Nobody wants to hit the link. Talk to the queen. What if this is not Brian Laundrie in that swamp? Shut your mouth. Ooh, nasty. This would indeed be a very nasty story. If those remains don't belong to Brian Laundrie. You talk about some new SHIT. It's going to be hell. I can't imagine, May. Because that would be the clincher of this story. That those remains are not Brian Laundrie. Then that means Brian Laundrie killed somebody and lured him out there or carried him out there to his death or dumped a dead body, put the bag out there to make it appear it is he. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion pertaining to that scenario that the body is not Brian Laundrie. Come on with it. That would be something. That would be something. Denise, you want to hit the link before I check out of here? Nobody else is hitting the link because I'm almost at 2 hours. So I don't know, Marion. We will see. Because we don't even know what the remains are that are left behind. If it's a torso, a head, I don't know. Hit the link if you want to give your opinion before the queen checks out of here. But I thank you all for joining me. Once again, if you'd like to donate to the channel in the dream of everyday shenanigans, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. The description is in the video. Thank you all so much. Could be a homeless person, could be. Or it could be the worst. He murdered somebody and planted those items to make people think it's him. But see, the thing about that is we have DNA. If indeed something's left behind, that can be compared to his parents and or sister. Okay, Nicole says the police never left the area. They knew they were looking for remains. Possibly too, Nicole. But they didn't tell us that. That's why many of us were curious. Why are you still there? And like I said, it's a big place. 25,000 acres, that's a lot. You have to have a lot of people, really a couple of hundred of people to go, as I said, toe-to-toe, elbow-to-elbow, doing a grid search for a person deceased.
Hello.
Hello, Miss Broomer. How are you?
I am fine.
Okay.
And you're looking quite ravishing this evening.
Well, thank you. I didn't try. I just Put a little cream on the face and say, let's roll with it. So what do you think about this new development coming out of Florida, ma'am?
Well,
I'm
I
going
mean,
to
in my mind, I want to.
step away
Can
for
you
just
hear me?
a second. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. In
Go
my
ahead and
mind,
talk,
I
step
want to
away
think
for a
it's
minute.
him.
I beg your pardon?
I said in my mind, I want to think it's him, so to be over with. You know, but you know, since we think over the top,
okay, I'm listening.
I can put it another way. I can say, well, you know, he's still committing his long string of murders. So once he did a couple of them, he, you know, doesn't bother him to kill someone else. So why not just kill somebody, plant it over there, put your little tablets or whatever in
So
there
how did he get the
also.
body over there? Let's say it's not him. How did he get the body? Who's the body and how did he get him over there?
Probably the body is probably somebody that came in and was at the
Already
reserve.
there. Already there.
Yeah, he
And
probably was.
I didn't think about that. Very interesting.
Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense. Somebody's already out there hiking. I strike up a conversation.
Yep.
They let their guard down. I come behind them, strangle them like what I did to Gabby Petito. Leave my backpack and keep it moving.
Right.
Very interesting. Wow, that's something. Now that's a conspiracy show.
Yeah, what? I mean, if it is that's crazy. But this whole thing's been crazy.
Okay, Shangri-La says dumping grounds. Okay, that's another theory. If it's not Brian Laundrie. Well, that's true because there are places that are known for bodies being dumped in certain places in America.
But yeah, I mean, oh my goodness, if it ain't him and it's somebody else, I mean, but okay. Then on the other hand, I want to think that when they called the parents out there, and the parents was, I guess they called the parents out there, but the parents was out there, and they were all kind of muddied up a little bit, especially the father. So if they got his things that was not too far from the body, would they say, "Can you identify him? Does it look like him?" I mean, he probably be all kind of decomposed a little bit, but would they? I mean, since they had the tent up, they had to take the body out. The body is what, you know. After the water receded, the body is there. So you think that they would say, "Take a look at him"? I mean, they were crying for some reason. I mean, I'm not gonna say they was crying. I was looking at him, and I seen her look at him and wipe his eye, and then you know. So I'm gonna assume that they were shedding tears. So were they shedding it because they actually think that was him? I don't know.
What did you say, honey? What did you just say, Denise?
Huh?
You just said something. I didn't hear what you said. Sorry about that. You said something. I want you to repeat. You said if it's not something you said. I can't remember.
No, what did I say? I'm already forgetting what came out my mouth.
I'm thirsty.
No, what I was saying is, the parents were there. They, you know, and the father looked like he'd been wading in the water. I don't know if the mother did, but if the water receded and they found this body a few yards or whatever feet, whatever, away from his stuff, they have a tent up. Would they say, "Is that your son? Does that look like him? Does that look like his leg?"
Does that tell me what?
Huh?
I don't understand what you're saying.
I'm saying, like they said, the water receded. They doing whatever they got to do under the tent. Now, would they bring this stuff to the parents and say, "Is this his stuff?"
Yeah, if they want to see, yeah, why not? They're there.
So they wouldn't. So they were. I mean, I guess my question is, were they out there looking, or did they call them there? We don't know.
Well, my understanding, the article I read, is that they asked, but then somebody else said that the police asked them. But I only went by what I read, and I repeated mine verbatim. So you're entitled to
Right.
read.
Okay. Okay. So they probably didn't see the. They probably didn't ask them to identify him.
Well, my thing is, you got to remember something, sweetheart. It's partial remains. We don't
I know. I know that's the worst thing. I know.
We don't even know what the remains are. See, it could be a foot, could be an arm, it could be, I don't know.
They could pick up. This is foot.
Just-
Does
I mean,
that
just
look like
saying.
that would be his? Yeah.
That's why I think they would say, could you come over and identify the backpack, you understand what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because that's going to be the gist of this story is what are the remains? How far the remains were from the bag and the notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, they did not specify. So that's what's going to be the clincher in this story is what remains were left. What exactly?
So it rained down. Is this is a swampy area anyway?
It was water and it receded. That's what a swamp is. It's water, basically.
Right. Well, I was wondering if they had a big rain or
marsh.
something.
Marsh is what comes up out of the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. I was wondering if it had like rained recently or a while ago and then it just receded. Or he was just washed. Well, you can't say he was washed down a river because the stuff was there. Well, the stuff could. Well, I don't know.
But that's the point. We don't know the proximity of the stuff.
Right. Right.
Trucker said a mile about the car. I think that's what Trucker said when I asked how far was the car. So those are the questions I have. Is as somebody said on the WFLA channel today, how far are the remains from the book bag, whatever you want to call it, and the book? How far was the car parked from where these remains book were? See,
right.
You still got a few more questions there.
Yeah, because you figured the car was there. But you know what's crazy? Weren't they out there a couple days ago in those ATVs and stuff riding around like? I could have swore they were out there a couple days ago.
Okay, he said it was over a mile from where the car was parked.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know.
We will see.
I'm thinking it is just to bring everybody back to sanity. Because
what is that exactly, honey?
Well, we live in insanity.
There will be another story where they'll go gaga goo goo, running around in people's houses, banging on doors, running around with their cameras and their cell phones. Some crazy YouTubers want to be seen.
Yeah.
Look,
right.
Good luck with that.
Just and like you said before, just this case will end and it is not that another one will begin. One's beginning already. You know, so it'll always be.
You know, it's amazing what you can see when they pan the camera when the news is there. It's so amazing the little things you can see. How thirsty one is for attention.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but you're right. Because I remember
it's not funny.
I remember a few days ago, and I didn't say anything.
It's despicable, quite frankly.
It really is. When the protesters were out there, and I'm sure you've seen it and heard it, but how all of a sudden you hear voices that are familiar. And you're like,
yeah. Well, like I said, was it worth it? Is it worth it? Because it looked like it's becoming a habit. So is it worth it?
Yeah, just go. Yeah, it's like you have nothing else better to do.
Hell, maybe this person know Brian Laundrie's flight plan itinerary because y'all show doing a lot of damn frequent flyer miles lately.
Well, you know, my dad was a minister, and he used to tell me old stories. He grew up in North Carolina, and he would just say that there was people that were professional mourners. How do you just go from church
Don't
just
you
to cry?
start? Oh yeah, like the little old women that go to
Yeah,
everybody's funeral. Because
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you a little story, and this is off this subject right
I'm
here.
sorry. Yeah.
When I went to that funeral 2 weeks or so ago, this little lady was sitting out. We were sitting out in the vestibule, and she was asking me who I was and all that. And I thought, well, baby, you don't know me. Why you want to know who I am?
Mm-hmm,
See, that's when you being nosy.
right.
We at a dead woman's funeral. You want to know who the hell I am? So that makes me think of that. You just up.
Yeah.
Say, do you know who in the casket?
Right.
Why you ask me who I am? Do you know she?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because I'm kind of thinking maybe she didn't really know her well. I ain't
Just
one
coming and sitting.
I ain't one to gossip. You ain't heard it from me.
Right.
But I'm wondering, did you know she? Because you worried about who I am.
Mm-hmm.
We here to see her.
Mm-hmm.
She is the topic, the one in the casket.
Right. Right. And like you said, it's one thing to protest, but I think sometimes on different things we just get out of hand. We just get out of hand.
What are you protesting? That's somebody dead out there in the damn reserve. Help me understand.
Right. That's why I kept saying I would put electric fence.
We know the girl was murdered. We know.
Right.
He was murdered. But why are you arguing, bickering with the people there and or law officials? For what reason?
Yeah.
That's what makes no sense to me. You want to go and gawk and look, that's your damn business.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to that tongue and you running that mouth for no reason, it means something wrong with you.
Right. Yeah. Because I'm telling you, electric fence, I would have put it up there and shocked everybody.
You know, we got to pray for you. You're going to end up in a damn YouTube story. You and these fences and tasers.
It would be just like a bug zapper.
Okay.
Every time they got close. And I'll be in my bed sleep. Oh, there's another one.
You're a hot mess. You and these tasers and these fences.
But yeah, I just want, we just want everything to be, unfortunately he's not alive to answer.
Well, we don't know if that's him yet. Let's wait.
That's true too.
Let's wait. It's looking like it's him, but like I told people, what would be the clincher to this story? This would be definitely some Netflix type of watching him.
Oh yeah.
If that ain't Brian Laundrie out there in that swamp, shut your mouth, say.
Somebody gonna make it's a movie. It's a movie already. Somebody's making it, and we just need the ending. I don't know. Hopefully.
Sure. They making it crazy. It ain't got to be no more than what you making it.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody obviously think the story is about them. I think. I thought it was about Gabby Petito.
No, it isn't.
I keep telling people, be very careful the waters you tread.
Yeah.
You trying to get your 5 minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm.
Mess around. You be a Gabby Petito part 2.
Yeah, because I'm not. I'm kind of surprised that how killers have groupies.
I've been saying that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All these cases we talk about, they got groupies. Everybody want to believe that they're innocent. They ain't done nothing. They ain't killed the child. They ain't did this. They ain't killed the wife. They ain't killed the husband. And then you get evidence. I was watching a true crime story this morning where the girl was steady talking about the guy. The police suspected him day one when the house burned down and his wife and child and grandfather was in the house dead, right? It was the wife's father. His behavior was nonchalant. So they suspected him right away. Here comes this white woman. They talking to her about it. She like, well, I don't think he did it and blah, blah, blah. And okay, cool. You see that show changed at the end of the documentary where they found him guilty. It was like, well, I didn't know. And I didn't think he would have done that to her and the family. The point is, sweetie, you didn't know him. Yep. So you going all off on public TV talking about what he wouldn't do. He ain't that type. You had to take them words and choke on him. They found him guilty because he ended up confessing. They got it on tape in the interrogation room where he lays out what he did and how he got to that point of killing his wife, child, and father-in-law. And he's very nonchalant about doing it. Didn't want to discuss it when they were interviewing him. You know, he's a little fatter, facing the death penalty at the time, because he didn't want to talk about what he did to his wife, kid, and father-in-law. Of course, it's to be devoid of what I did. I'm not trying to connect with what I did. He beat these folks, man. How you beat a kid to death? Your own. He beat his own child to death.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when he spins the story, that man, it's like Hannibal Lecter. That blood pressure don't even rise when he talks. Everything is matter-of-factly. And we believe possibly this is over a girl he was infatuated with that worked at a convenience store. So he started idolizing, fantasizing about this chick. And this, when his mind said, hey, I got to check out. He even says that. It was the only alternative. That's deep. It was the only alternative. My mind kept coming back. I got to kill them. I got to kill them. Not, hey, file for divorce. Hey, separate from your wife. I got to kill them. His mind told him that.
Well, you know, I'm going to give you a spin on the story, and then I'll let you go. Okay?
You all right. Ain't nobody else up here. I'm on hour 2, so I'll let you know.
All right. So let's flip the script a little bit.
Okay.
Let's say that Brian was the one getting...
Who was Larry?
Larry?
Somebody told me Larry arrested yesterday. I don't know no Larry.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
Maya.
Okay, her husband. Okay, I saw that earlier. Okay, yeah, I need to do an update about that because I did talk about that a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I didn't stay on that story. Just
yeah,
it's a lot trying to keep up with so many stories of people missing. Then people don't really understand it. You got to really be dedicated to just stay on a different, a story all day, every day, keeping up. Because really, it's a full-time job if you're going to be on it. And a lot of people show content on their computer. I don't do that, but it's a lot of work.
Well, that one's kind of crazy.
I already figured he did it anyway because I heard one thing about the story that led me to think, oh yeah, he killed his wife. She left on a run. She ain't take nothing with her, and yet she stayed gone for months now. To me, once it's a week or two without my phone, my purse, my ID, I already know that.
Yeah.
Just what I'm saying. I'm using common sense. What woman's gonna go anywhere without her purse? Yeah, I don't need my purse to go jog or take a walk. But if I'm missing by week 1, I need my purse, my phone, my car keys. You see where I'm going?
Right.
My ID. Even if I decide to leave my husband, my kids, my life, give me my damn ID unless I'm getting ready to pretend to be somebody else. Well, why do I need to be somebody else?
Right.
Stay woke.
Yeah, he wanted her to be home.
He said
he wanted her to break a leg or do whatever it takes for her to be at the house and not leave the house.
I don't understand what you're saying.
They said that he was into these crazy people. These what are they? Not soothsayers, but people like that. And
people like what?
Like a soothsayer. I mean, I don't know if that's the word. Those people that cast spells on people. He actually believed in that business, and he wanted something cast on her where she would be in an accident.
Ting! He getting ready to get a spell. He's ready to get a California casting spell on you.
Yeah.
He's ready to go to prison.
Oh yeah.
Ting!
Let's see what spell.
I command you to life in prison.
Yep.
Tabitha, what do you think about that? Tabitha said yes.
Yep. But the spin I want to put on it is, let's say.
Look what somebody said. Hold on a minute. He went to see witch doctors to curse her.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, those type of people. Yeah. Just to get her to get in an accident.
Make her do.
make
Huh?
her stay home. He didn't want
Oh,
to.
so what
He
you
didn't.
trying to tell me? His wife was active and he was jealous of whatever she was
Yeah,
doing.
he wanted her home.
okay.
He wanted her to break a leg, get in an accident or something that would cause her to be
Well,
home.
honey, he could have broke her leg. Hell, you killed her. You could have broke her damn leg.
Yeah, that's true too. But
And that's not to be disrespectful, but damn, he killed her. So hell, I can say it. You could
Right.
think to break her leg, push her down.
Mm-hmm.
You killed her.
Yeah, he wanted somebody else to be responsible for that. He didn't want to be, and when that didn't work,
because he knew he is going to be the first one that law enforcement will look at.
Yeah.
You are always the first one, a spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend,
Mm-hmm.
caretaker. You work in, then out.
Right.
Everybody knows that. Law officials will tell you that. We
Mm-hmm.
always start in the circle.
Right. Yep. Because I'm not gonna say 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10, it's the person that's closest to you.
Right. As DJ said, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No conspiracy, no Illuminati.
Right.
No Kanye West type BS.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, it's the right here next
Mm-hmm.
to.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. But let's think of it this way. All right. How about if Gabby was the controlling one?
Okay.
Okay. And she puts on the woe is me. Yeah, he might have smacked her. She could have punched him. We don't know what happened. We just know what somebody said they saw him punching her in the face. They could have been fighting like Muhammad Ali and Frazier in that
before the people saw them. Yes.
Right. So let's say if she was like I said, the more aggressive one, and then he went back. Since we got that little tidbit of him being a little fat when he was younger.
Don't start.
So he already has that.
I'm gonna laugh at you. It was a Carrie moment. I'm gonna find that movie tonight. I'm gonna watch it tonight so I can scare my damn self. So I'm gonna laugh at you. He had flashbacks.
Yeah, he might, and he's
little piggy porker.
But think about it. Maybe his parents wanted to kick him out because they were like, you let her talk to you any way, and we can't say anything.
Say it again.
I'm just saying.
No, say it again.
She might have been telling him off every day, bullying him, and he wouldn't say anything.
Get your ass up out of here.
And no, the parents probably said.
I was saying in the chat that they had a condo that they sold. I don't have no verification of that. The news ain't saying that, so I don't roll with that.
Yeah.
Until I hear the news say they had their own place, blah blah blah. There we have it. Here come DJ.
So if you think about it, they probably kicked her out because they're saying that.
Say they had their own place, blah blah blah. Turn it down, DJ.
Hey, DJ.
Hey, y'all.
So you thinking that? Are you okay? I'm gonna ask you. Since you mentioned it, I'm wondering if this is your opinion, Denise. Do you believe Gabby was the aggressor?
No, I was just saying just to say something.
Throwing it out there.
Yeah, because you know what?
Because Bounty Hunter says, I believe she was vocal. Yeah, when she told the police I was hitting them, I watched part of the video today, and they was asking her, tell us the truth. Be careful what you say. Were you trying to harm him? She's like, no. See, that's the thing. You'll never know the truth. Because ain't nobody round living to tell us the truth. Who was always initiating, poking, punching. But in the end, it doesn't matter because, like I said, you have to stand a tone for what you do.
Right.
Your reactions, your response. These two had no business together.
Right. So now think, he snapped. He kills her, and then he's like, "Oh my god! So then he sees the two.
Call mommy and daddy.
And then
let me ask you this. Let me ask both of you. Do you believe he called his mother and father after he killed her right there in Wyoming?
He didn't call and tell the truth.
I don't think so. I wouldn't.
Okay. DJ, tell me why he didn't tell the truth.
Well, you would have to have some really, really wicked left field parents to call them and say, look, I just killed somebody.
But people have done it. You know that. You know that.
Yes, ma'am, I do know that, but it's just hard for me to fathom that people, even a parent, could be that off-centered. But I don't know for sure. I don't know, but I'm starting to believe more and more that he did not tell those people the whole truth. I think he told them enough to poison. Well, they were already poisoned against Gabby, I think, but to further that line of thinking that he was the victim and she was the aggressor, this, that, and the other. But I highly doubt that he came out and said, "Hey, y'all, I killed her."
Okay. What about Denise? You're on the fence, or you can't decide.
I don't. What was the question?
Well, let me say something right quick, y'all. The reason I call back is I'm Denise too. My name's Denise too.
Oh, you Denise, shut your mouth.
I'm Denise too. When I saw Denise Broomer, I thought, and she's so entertaining. I thought, oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah, she's the professional in the bunch, I do believe.
Well, I'm Denise too, and I just
it's what I want people to believe.
They want to know. The question is, did Brian call his parents after killing her directly and said, I killed her in Wyoming?
I don't think so.
Okay. Why not? Why not?
I just don't. I think he probably, he might not have told them until they was around the campfire. While we sitting here, I want to tell y'all something.
Look, hey, I ain't going to court, so be careful what the hell you say now.
Yeah, I'm going on
look,
a run.
Let me tell you something. Queen has heard some crazy things. So I want you to be very careful what you repeat on this live, man.
I wouldn't put anything past people.
I don't either.
Because does one go right straight out and tell their parents they killed somebody? Are we on a level like that?
But people have told people that they have killed people, because if I know that you the type that'll rock like that, stay woke. If I think you a rock like that to aid me, hell yeah, I'll tell you I did it.
Right.
You think people haven't told people that they've murdered people? Of course.
I mean, I'm sure.
That's how you find out later who the star witness is. Because they decide to come forward. It might be 5 years, 10, 20. And that's the sick part of the story. It's the fool that carries the burden of knowing somebody was murdered and never went to law enforcement to say, such and such told me she murdered them.
Yeah. I mean, technically, we don't know when they found out. He could have told them that she's at the motel. I mean, that would be crazy, but I'm just saying.
But
I agree with you, though.
They might have found that on TV.
Yeah. But I'm gonna know. Let me tell you something. Somebody said to me once. It was a guy that I used to mess with on and off many moons ago. He was a misfit. He told me this, and listen very carefully what I'm getting ready to say to you, okay? He said, Angela, because I don't tell you I know I have not done right by you, doesn't mean I don't know that I've done wrong by you. Because I don't speak it, don't mean I don't know it.
That's true.
That's what I'm waiting to hear. You've done wrong by me. You know what I'm saying? You don't treat me exceptionally well. But like he said, I ain't got to tell you. I know I don't treat you well. Understand?
Well, that's a double-edged sword right there.
Because that's what we do. We're waiting for somebody to say, you wronged me. You did. You understand? They know they ain't doing you right. Most people know they ain't doing you right. And they ain't gonna never tell you they know they ain't doing you right. In a quiet moment, they know. Yeah, I'm messing her over. I'm messing him over. But they won't own it. They won't own it. Because to own it means I'm acknowledging I'm an ass. Come on with it, Queen.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know what, Queen? Like I was saying before, this word narcissist that we love to use, I've studied enough to know that a trait of a true narcissist is, yes, I know I have done this and that, but I have fooled you. Joke's on you. But they never tell it. You know what I mean? They never tell it. They can live with it and go with it. And
let me read you something the Outlaw says. They hired the lawyer 3 days when Brian showed up.
That's true.
So you knew all about the fraud charge and that girl was dead. Come on. We ain't gonna shuck and jive no more. You see, you knew he killed her before we knew about the cards and
That's true. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
So see, that's the part that was always baffling. What are you doing with a lawyer when we didn't know nothing?
But did he paint himself?
The Schmitz didn't know nothing.
Did he paint himself to be a victim to those parents? Oh, she was so bad. Y'all knew she was bad.
Yeah. Okay, but you still can never explain. I'm gonna tell you something. I tell y'all, stay woke. It don't matter what he told them. Where is she and why you got the keys to her damn van? Come on with it. What did I tell you? I ain't got to tell you I think you guilty of something. You knew something was suspect with your son when he showed up without that damn girl. Come on.
True.
That's true. And when the lawyer comes to, let me finish now. Somebody had to tell you it was an indictment for fraud. Come on with it. Stay woke. Who told that? That's why Almond, you in Florida. Stay woke. Who told that your son was being indicted for fraud? That's states away. That ain't even next damn door. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi. Who told it? How do you know your son did any damn thing for you to go get a lawyer? I keep trying to tell y'all, they've been riding the ride from day one. They knew.
Yeah, he might have called them all scared.
He had to tell them. Why would I go hire a lawyer? Stay woke.
I agree with you on the stay woke.
I'm not going to just go hire no damn lawyer for credit card fraud. Plead it out. Plead it out.
But you don't think that he could have told them, well, now, mama, daddy, you know, I'm back here and I got the van. Now they naturally they're gonna suspect me. Or, you don't think that could have happened that way?
It don't matter what. Let me tell you something. Discerning spirit, you gotta have it at some point in life. You is not gonna sit there and tell me they didn't know that boy killed that girl when he came back with that van. And even if he said anything about the fraud, first thing you're gonna say is, well, still, where is she? And what the hell you doing stealing her money off her cards? Stay woke. You put the pieces together without him telling you.
I mean, yeah, I can understand that.
It's nothing you can tell a human when you don't have the owner of the vehicle.
Right.
Who is going to let you take their car? Think about what you're saying. You're way in Wyoming, and you drove my car to the parents' house without the person? Mm-hmm. What did you tell them? What did they ask? And then you went and played la-la out in the park for days with s'mores? You gonna still sit here and say you didn't know that motherfucker killed that girl?
Hell, that's what I truly don't understand. All that
they didn't know, because they did know.
You know, the sister and they hung out. They did s'mores or whatever people do, and it's like we didn't even have any conversation about Gabby. That I really don't get that part. I really don't get.
You don't get what part?
How the sister says, you know, she went to the campground on the 6th or whatever. They did s'mores, they cooked out or whatever. Mm-hmm. How could that be that you spent all afternoon with these people, and not one question ever came up about
exactly. But
true.
you're never going to hear that because we're not getting the truth, because you're not going to tell us the truth that indeed, whether it was out there in Florida, it really doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter. You knew he harmed her.
Yeah.
Because when you got the lawyer, you told on yourself right then that you knew he had done something foul to Gabby Petito. You see, that's why I tell people to pay attention to the details.
And you're right. I'm just trying to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, but she missing. You got the van, keys to the van,
Mm-hmm.
and you telling me what version about Gabby Petito
Right.
that would be believable?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's true.
She would let you come cross country without her, but yet she went cross country with you. And her mama and daddy calling, and you know they had their left voicemail, stay woke. So it don't really matter what he told them. It's what mom and daddy's saying in the voicemails and the texts.
That's true.
That's true.
Where's my child? She ain't answering.
Yep.
You know you reading them.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't you?
That's true.
Why? So they've known.
It's just hard to believe that people could be that. I mean, are you born evil? Is it a matter of the way you were brought up? I don't want to think that God makes evil people.
So we talking about Brian being diabolical. You better start talking about Chris and Roberta.
That's what I'm saying.
Because at some point you knew he killed her. Because you gotta weigh everything that's happened from when he touched down, what he brought with him, which is the van, the fraud charge. You hired the lawyer for him. Okay? He didn't go hire the lawyer himself. So he had to told you something for you to go get the lawyer.
They hired the lawyer not even knowing, right? What the whole situation
I'm saying. Was. But look, you don't need a lawyer for fraud.
Right.
You did that.
Right.
Lead it out.
Mm-hmm. I heard you say one day that for something like that, a little fraud charge, you go and you get a little fine.
People
or something
steal
like
every day.
Yeah.
They go to Walmart, they shoplift. They don't go get no fucking lawyer. Excuse my wife. They go to court and plead it out. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I stole it. It was on me.
Right.
It's end of the story. You don't get a lawyer for stealing. You get a lawyer if you feel like you've been set up on the theft.
Yeah.
And then you have
somebody used your name in something. And you said, no, that wasn't me. I didn't go past a credit card. See where I'm going?
Okay. Yeah.
So he had to have told them something.
But they got the wrong lawyer. They got a real estate lawyer. Somebody, maybe that's a cousin's uncle's father.
Ain't it? Something about that, and they say, oh, he had been retained by that family for years for real estate deals and this, that, and the other. I mean, I don't even know what to think about all that. I don't.
Well,
I don't. And I don't. And as far as Cassie goes, I don't know whether to feel sorry for her or she needs to have her behind kicked.
Let me tell you something, Cassie. I'm gonna go and throw it in there now because I answered my own question. What did Brian tell you where she was? You had to have got wind that he came in the van without her. Stay woke.
Well, didn't you say something when they was over there eating?
Oh, I found out the truth when everybody else did that BS.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, she claims that they came by in that Mustang and it was Mama and Daddy.
September 1st, day one. When you saw Gabby wasn't there, I'm going to say it again.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say? See, you left that part out when they was out there hollering and screaming when her husband was out there talking. And them protesters was asking 50,000 questions. Why you didn't tell us or them what he said to you where she was? You left that out. That's the main question. Well, what did he tell you what Gabby was when he came home and came to your house on the 1st? And I'm trying to tell y'all, he laid it out for them.
Mm-hmm.
He went off the road, traveling 2 days, 3 days of driving to show up at somebody's house. Does that make some sense to you? Cassie lived 40, 45 minutes from mom and daddy. Stay woke. You've been on the road for days. And you're going to go straight to your sister's house. Oops, I forgot. You went home and got mom and daddy. Then we went to see the sister. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Stay woke.
Yeah. What we going to do now, y'all?
That's right.
Yeah, family meeting. What we're going to
Yep,
say.
that's what I was
Family
gonna say.
meeting. Family meeting. What we're going to say. What we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Snack time. She knew.
It's just hard to accept people are that doggone diabolical.
Yes, somebody says, Pink said the Laundries are playing everyone. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See?
That's
Because
sad.
I've been driving. Let me tell y'all something. You do mathematics, even if you ain't good in math. I've been driving for days. I can see my sister any day. She ain't going nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Think. Who the hell goes visit everybody when they just got off the road? You ain't got to go visit your mama, your daddy, your cousin, your auntie, because you just got off the highway.
Mm-hmm.
I see you when I see you.
Right.
I got to get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't.
I agree with that.
But I ain't gonna get no sleep because I just killed somebody and I know the cavalry's on the way.
Right.
Wow. You make so much sense.
Thank you.
You really do.
You gotta chop it up to make it make sense. From the start to the finish, you say to yourself, does this make sense? This right here. I don't know nobody right now that comes off the highway and drove that amount of time gonna go in somebody's face as soon as parking their damn car.
That's very true. That's very true.
You go straight to your bed.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless your house on fire, your ass is in the bed.
Right.
Mm. Well, girls, before my ragged behind gets any more tired, I got to go feed a couple of horses.
Okay.
I
Let me ask you this, DJ, before you check out of here, because I'm going to really mess with you.
Yes, ma'am.
What you think that husband thinking? Shut your mouth.
Say that again.
What you think that husband is thinking? Cassie's husband. Because if they lie for Brian, come on, Queen.
He's either really stupid or pee-whipped or he just don't give a rip. I mean, there's no way you could be involved. I mean, I'm pretty dumb, but I can't imagine being caught up in a whole family dynamic. Like
Tiffany said it. He needs to run. He's not good. You better stay woke, bruh. If they're alive for Brian, you already know what kind of in-laws you got. Them not the kind of family members you want. Because if you and Cassie girl ever fall out, stay woke.
That's what I was thinking. Either he's
what
dumb,
they'll do to you,
or he is just a really dumb somebody who doesn't care if he gets thrown under the bus next. I mean, something. I wouldn't feel secure if I was him. Period.
Let me tell you something. In the quiet hour, you think I would never talk with my wife and say, "What the hell is going on, Chip?"
Well, we know that
you gonna sit there and tell me you don't know your parents know something about what that boy did to that girl, and then I look at her and say, "What do you know?" Because I'm your husband, you gonna tell me.
Right.
He's probably known for years that those parents don't give a rip for her compared to what they did for Brian. But when that people raise all kind of Cain because Kathy, I'm thinking about my cousin. Cassie stepped out that day and told the protesters, she had a little something to say. And she said, you guys were scaring my children. You telling them things they didn't even know about. Aunt Gabby being dead, yada, yada, yada. But before that little inept interview ended, husband said, well, to tell you the truth, we can't hear y'all in the house anyway. So I always thought that was crazy. If it was so taxing on the children and they were hearing all this stuff, And then he interjects right before the interview ends. Well, we can't really hear you in the house anyway. And I thought, something's wrong with these people. Now, he didn't have to contradict what she had said about the children hearing all this mess. And but this is so multifaceted. Who knows? To me, right now, I feel like they're all a bunch of snakes.
Exactly.
And I was raised to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and I try to do that. But based on what I've heard on this channel, and I can't help but think they all got a little bit of crooked up in them.
Well, this is what I said to myself tonight after all I've heard on the news. What goes around comes around. The card you played on Gabby Petito's family, 9 times out of 10, you're about to get all that back.
Yeah.
If indeed that's Brian Laundrie out there in that,
karma is a bitch.
Yep.
So they say.
Yes.
Because those were the same words they used.
You're going to get all that back.
Yeah.
Revenge
those were the
is
same
best
words
cold.
they used when they found Gabby. A partial body has been found. So guess what?
I don't know if it's about karma or tit for tat or, the Lord is the true avenger. So how this is all going to play out. But I have just enjoyed Queen. You being so straight up. And Denise, I enjoyed you. That's why I had to come. I'm Denise too. So, but I love you guys.
Thank you, baby. Thank you so much.
And I will be calling back, okay?
Okay, baby.
Okay.
All
right, bye, y'all.
Bye, baby. That's DJ from South Carolina, for those of you that ain't Southern. Yeah, they're going to get back what they gave the Petitos. Yep. You played coy. You didn't answer the phone calls because you knew your son had murdered that girl. So, see, that's why I say there's no shucking and jiving around it now. You hired a lawyer before anything was ever revealed to the public. You had no need to hire a lawyer. You knew something when he came back without her. That told you everything you need to know right there.
And why wouldn't you answer the phone?
Exactly.
What?
It's sad.
Yeah.
But this goes to show you don't know people. Nobody knew Brian Laundrie, and nobody knows Chris and Roberta Laundrie. That's 3 people you don't know. And Cassie, too. We're going to loop your ass in there, too, Cassie.
Yeah.
Because you knew something was up. No way you didn't know.
And she wants to do the interview to so people won't look at her.
Lori says, I still think the chess game isn't over. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, because they can still, if that is them, they still can sue. Can't they sue?
Sue who? Who are you going to sue?
Civil court.
Okay, but who are you going to sue? About
the
what?
Parents.
About what?
Aiding and abetting.
Well, civil trials have been known to win quicker than a criminal. So we will see.
Yeah. I tell you, it was just like I was saying earlier, Gabby's are of all ages. If this is a true DVK, you know what I'm saying? It comes in all ages.
Right.
It's just how long you can put up with it. So, all right, ma'am.
I'm gonna check out too. Thank you, baby.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Denise, East Coast. I want to thank you all for joining me. If you want to donate to the channel, $ Big Angie 129 Cash App. They could sue for wrongful death. Yes, if it'll be up to a court to decide if they believe that the Laundries aided their son in any form or fashion. We will also see what the coroner has to say pertaining to the remains found in the reserve, if they are indeed those of Brian Laundrie, We will also wait to see what the notebook contains, what type of information or anything of relevance to the death of Gabby Petito, his state of mind, and what he and she were going through at that time. This is a very riveting story. There have been many innuendos, assumptions, conspiracies pertaining to this case. But in the end, I'm a realist and I believe the basics of life. Man killed woman, woman killed man. End of story. The reason don't really matter in the end. Because usually when it's true crime, it's usually never self-defense. Very rare that is self-defense. Thank you all for joining me. Please be safe. Have a safe weekend. I will be back on possibly tomorrow with more information pertaining to this case. I will bring you a source to the latest developments pertaining to the remains found in the reserve and the backpack and the notebook. We will see where this goes. And as I said at the end of this live, it will be something if we find out that those remains are not Brian Laundrie. That will be the clincher. Because then that will put a whole new spin on Brian Laundrie being a serial killer and possibly killed those people out in Grand Teton. And we still don't have any more information pertaining to those deaths, a suspect or suspects in the deaths of the married couple. Stay woke. Thank you for joining me. This is Everyday Shenanigans. I'm out of here. Talk to you guys later. Bye.